Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine as you can see. Kisumu is also fantastic. And maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a question for you guys. Why do you think William Ruto is desperate for Mount Kenya? Because let's face it, in 2022, Mount Kenya voted overwhelmingly for William Samoei Arap Ruto. And therefore, I don't see any need why William Ruto should actually appear as if he is desperate for Mount Kenya. Is William Ruto losing the grip of Mount Kenya? That is the question which most Kenyans are actually asking. Because just the other day, William Ruto concluded 5 days tour of the mountain. 5 good days, where he traversed the entire, not really the Mount Kenya, just let me say Kikuyu Nation. 5 days. And then yesterday, William Ruto was also in Nyeri. Today, I think it's in Tharaka. Let me just shock you with what William Ruto went to do in Nyeri. And you are going to be shocked. The first thing which took William Ruto to Nyeri was some Thanksgiving. And the Thanksgiving was for PS, Permanent Secretary, Alex Wachira. I don't understand why in William Ruto's era, permanent secretaries are actually being forced to organize Thanksgiving. William Ruto is, in my view, pushing these permanent secretaries to organize Thanksgiving so that he can go to their villages for politics. Because why would a position which is gotten based on merit, why would this be subjected to some Thanksgiving? It never happened during Kibaki era. It never happened during Uhuru era. It never happened during Moi era. It never happened during Kenyatta era. Why do we hold Thanksgiving? Thanksgivings for permanent secretaries. You are taking a whole head of state and the entire government just for Thanksgiving. You know, it's very interesting. The second thing which took William Ruto to Nyeri was to launch some road in Kieni. William Ruto was in Nyeri less than 2 weeks ago, where he launched roads. Why would he leave this one to go and launch it again? And again, the road was launched. Why? You know, you can do the roads, finish them, and Kenyans will see them. Why do you take a whole president just to say, okay, we are starting this road? And the third thing, which took Ruto there, is that he went to open officially a regional UDA office. Regional UDA office. Of course, William Ruto is a politician and maybe doesn't want to fall for what Uhuru Kenyatta failed to do, where Uhuru Kenyatta failed to play politics and at the same time rule the country. But it is shocking that less than 1 year, the deputy president and the president and his team are actually down on the ground there campaigning. Shocking. In this video, I want to reveal to you guys why William Ruto is desperate. Because even today he's in Tharaka Nithi. For what? William Ruto is in Tharaka Nithi for some prayer meeting. But before we get into all those details, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to dive in. Let me pose this question again. Why do you think William Ruto is appearing to be desperate for Mount Kenya? The truth of the matter is that without Mount Kenya, William Ruto's bids are actually doomed. So William Ruto received the highest percentage of votes from Mount Kenya, which means he must get the same votes. So why do you think William Ruto is having sleepless nights over Mount Kenya? Number one is the expectation of Mount Kenya. You see, William Ruto was running as a presidential candidate in 2022. And therefore, it was easy to make promises as a candidate. Again, it was also easy for William Ruto to actually convince the people of the mountain on what he was going to do to them. Now, 1 year down the lane, William Ruto has done literally nothing in the mountain. You see, because there's nothing you can really pinpoint in the mountain that these are the things William Ruto has done. One of them was that he promised them jobs. Can you point the number of youths who have been appointed by Ruto? Just the other day, I saw some interesting post on Facebook. Let me just read for you the post. It was very interesting, and it shows you, because the mountain voted for Ruto because they believed that he was going to solve all their problems, but that's not happening. There is someone who made a post here. I think it was Wahome Thuku. He made some interesting post. Let me just get it. He made this post. I will give you 5K if you show me evidence that you have borrowed and repaid at least 5 times from the Hustlers Fund in person. You have increased the borrowing and you show me the clear projects you have initiated or enhanced with the money. So basically, that was the question, because it was expected that the Hustlers Funds were going to make a lot of changes, especially to the people of the mountain. And someone replied to that tweet, to that post, that I borrowed 1K, first 1K, I repaid it within a week. In 2 weeks, my limit reached 3K. I went onwards to 100K. I repaid, and now I have a limit of 5 million shillings. I have since opened a 5-star hotel in my village where my fellow villagers come to drink as they watch football. I encourage my neighbors in Tarinduku to form chamas, and we are about to receive 50 million shillings. We are now building an airport in my village. We have already fenced our village with electric fence, and we also want to build a village swimming pool. See Ushawi ni Maobi. Kingdom is ours. Fish is theirs. So basically, this guy is also just mocking the mountain. The kind is giving up the kind of picture which William Ruto was giving them, that we are going to get the government and all your problems are going to be solved. So the expectations of Mount Kenya in this government was so high. But what about the delivery? I don't want to get there. You can be the judge. You know whether this government has actually delivered or not. The second reason why William Ruto is in serious panic in Mount Kenya is the narrative. The narrative. William Ruto managed to win the hearts of the Mount Kenya using a narrative, the dynasty versus the hustler. That the problems they were facing as poor people was because those in power who are dynasties are not helping them. They are helping themselves. So these poor people voted for Ruto in the hope that William Ruto was going to do things differently for them, that their problems were going to be solved. Has that happened? So William Ruto now doesn't have that narrative. He can't go back to the same people and tell them about, dynasty mbaya, dynasty. He can't go back to them with the dynasty. So which means he has to figure out how he's going to go to them. The first thing he's trying to do now is to invoke Raila Odinga and make Raila Odinga a subject. He's no longer talking of dynasty, because now they are the hustlers that are in government. The hustlers are expecting them to solve their problems, not to give them another hope. So I think William Ruto is desperately trying to figure out the best way he can sustain the mountain. Maybe a new narrative is going to emerge. Number 3, in my view, is Uhuru Kenyatta factor. Let's face it, William Ruto is now the president of the Republic of Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta is not the president of the Republic of Kenya. William Ruto has tried so hard to drag Uhuru Kenyatta into politics so that Uhuru Kenyatta can start engaging with him in exchange and the rest. Uhuru Kenyatta has kept quiet since then. In fact, despite all the provocations, Uhuru Kenyatta has avoided any direct confrontation with Ruto. So which means the people of the mountain are now starting to think differently about Uhuru Kenyatta. But one thing you need to know is that William Ruto, while campaigning, and Rigathi Gachagua and Mount Kenya leaders, they made the mountain believe that all their problems were there because of one family, the Kenyatta family. But now, after the election, those problems still persist. They're still there. But that family, whom they were being accused of, is not there. And now they are realizing that there are certain things that really were not true. So which means Ruto has to go to the ground to figure out how is he going to deal with the Uhuru factor. Then he must go there and convince them that he's trying to sort out their problems. Because for me, there's nothing Ruto can do in the mountain, which Uhuru Kenyatta never did. If it's roads, Uhuru did them. And when Uhuru was doing these roads, walisema, watu hawakuli barabara. Watu hawakuli barabara. So there's nothing they can do. But that Uhuru Kenyatta factor is still there. Uhuru is relaxing. He doesn't want to be dragged in politics. He's left them to rule. Their all problems should have gone by now. The problem in the Mount Kenya, the problem in the Kikuyu nation, by now, all of them should not be having any problem because Uhuru Kenyatta is no longer the president. But still, kama sisi tu. Number 4 is the state of economy. Actually, that is what is worrying William Ruto the most. Let's face the reality. The truth of the matter is that the economy of the Republic of Kenya currently is doing poorly. Then William Ruto earlier on began by blaming the handshake and the rest. That became stale. So which means William Ruto must now go to the ground and try to convince people that he's doing things which are going to change their lives. He started with the fertilizer. I'm seeing Raila Odinga now dismantling that. Then others are coming up. But remember, William Ruto decided that they were going to address the issue of farming, coffee, pyrethrum, tea, milk. Are those problems solved? The residents down there are proving otherwise. The other day you saw them uprooting coffee from their farms because they are saying the prices they are getting for their coffee is worse than when Uhuru Kenyatta was the president. So William Ruto must be a worried man. And lastly, now this is political, is the turnout. You know, William Ruto is now the president of the Republic of Kenya. How he managed to maneuver his ways, nobody knows. We only speculate that he's tall. But the truth is, the mountain came out to reject Uhuru Kenyatta and his project Raila Odinga. And just like I've explained, now these guys are realizing that Uhuru and Raila might not necessarily be the main sources of their problems. That their problems are actually bigger than Raila and Uhuru. So what are they doing? Turnout might happen. They might not turn out to vote against Uhuru and to vote against Raila the way they did. That is going to affect the turnout during voting. So which means William Ruto doesn't want that fire to reduce. So he's still continuing with it. I don't know what to think. That's my take. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.